Welcome back everyone to today's video. We've got some very interesting um, scenarios looking likely into February, and it's really into the 15th of February onwards where something really interesting could happen. We've seen some interesting charts over the next couple of days what look a bit like the Beast from the East 2018, and this video is going to be showing why it could really happen from the 20th of February onwards. It could get really severe. So if we go ahead and take a look at the GFS 6Z, you can see we start off fairly mild, but we do get this high pressure going up towards Scandinavia just here. There's a cold pool sitting over here, and it looks like we could start going quite cold, and if we do go on a little bit longer, you can see we do start to unleash some easterly winds. Now this will be very cold, and we could get very cold and snowy at times, especially at the end of the run, where we're into a very cold pattern just there. And if you look at the upper air temperatures, they are indeed on the edge of the -10 upper air temperatures. But that's not the main thing what we're looking at. If we go to the latest stratospheric charts for the next couple of weeks, we will show you now why everything is looking very interesting. So this is what we're currently looking like. So if we run through this run from the GFS, let's just refresh it so it's up to date. You can see we're very normal. We've got them dark blue colours over the country like we usually do. But if we do continue through, we see this warming popping up at the end here. Now this is not much of a warming. It's a fairly small one, but it is a warming of the stratosphere. It's a big one, but it's just not over the pole. If that was to push into the North Pole, it could be an SSW, and could increase chances of colder weather. If we do go on beyond that, this is not fully updated for the 12Z, so we'll just have to do the 6Z. But we see this warming increasing, as you can see, and as it moves in towards the pole, especially on this 6Z run here, extremely strong. Look at the polar vortex over here, how weak it's gotten now. Really stretched. It looks like it's going to split any second just here, because it is that sort of weak. On this line here, you can see just how weak it is, just there. If we continue, you can see this continues to push into the pole and splits the polar vortex, with sending one area this way and one area this way. The whole of the polar vortex has been replaced by a huge area of warming, and that ultimately leaves us in a situation like this with a renewed warming over Greenland by the end. And overall, it looks like a major SSW would be the strongest one since 2018, the Beast from the East. Now, let's have a look what the stratospheric charts look like in 2018. In 2018, the stratospheric charts look like this. So you can have a look at this right now. So here they are. This is the strat in 2018. If we run through this, you can see once again it's around the same time, around the 14th, 15th of February, just like this one is at the moment. And look, it's basically identical. And then we do get a renewed warming over Greenland as that passes through. If we continue running through this, and you can see that it looks very similar to the one you've just seen on the charts, and we do get this renewed warming over Greenland if you go into the extended range just there, which looks very similar to the charts we're seeing. It looks very severe, and that is what it looks like. And now once again, let's compare it to our current chart. Look, once again, so in it comes, pushes through, and yeah, completely looks basically identical, and we get that renewed warming starting over Greenland, which is very unusual. So everything's sort of setting up, and it's the exact same time. Remember, 15th to 20th of February. That one was in 2018, and this one is basically the same on the 15th of February. Extreme major SSW. Very interesting. Now, if we do go back to 2018, we're going to start just here in the 18th of January. Actually, let's go to the 18th of December. So if we do start running through, you can see that it's really a quite mild winter. There's not really much signs of anything that cold. We get some cold spells, but overall, it's very wet, windy, and unsettled. We do continue running through though, we're now in January. You can just see signs of that high pressure wanting to go up to Greenland, and we have seen that in this winter a couple of times. And as you can see, they do get a light easterly wind, but once again here, on the 13th January, that high pressure is trying to go up to Greenland, right? What's going on at the moment? Right, if we go to our current chart, look what's happening here on the 7th February. The high pressure is trying to go up to Scandinavia. Looks a bit similar. So, we go back to 2018, and we'll continue going through. You can see it never really does anything, that high pressure over Scandinavia. But as the SSW kicks in February, as we keep moving, once again, it's a very mild winter, really. Not really much goes on. A couple of cold spells here and there. Then here we go. We're into February. We do get a little bit of a cold spell. Once again, look at that there. It goes up to Scandinavia. We've seen that a couple of times this winter. Then as the SSW kicks in around here, it looks fairly mild. The SSW kicks in around now. As you can see, there's just signs of that high pressure trying to go up here towards the Scandinavia area. What's very interesting. We continue. You can just see that little bit of blocking, and here we go. 20th February, it's going to try again, and look at it this time. Because the SSW comes off, it really amplifies the situation and lets that go much further north than it would have if without the SSW. So this really strengthens that area of blocking, sends it all the way up there. At this point, just look at the temperatures over in Europe. I mean, it's the coldest that it's ever been. We're already on the verge of that, and we're under the high pressure. Just shows how severe it's going to get. Move forward one day, here it comes. Look at the temperatures over the country, down to -15 upper air temperatures, and it's absolutely freezing at this point. We continue to run through. This blocking high pressure goes up towards Greenland now, and Scandinavia, blocking up there. It's a huge area of blocking that allows this deep cold pool and low pressure to drop in, switch the winds around into extremely strong easterly wind. And this is where it really gets bad. The temperatures here, you know, the -20 upper air temperatures are over the UK just there. It's very, very cold for 2018. But as you can see, look at all the snow. This is the precipitation chart. Everything would have been snow, it's that cold. And most of the country sees snow just because of how severe them winds were. And you know, if we keep running through, it continues for days, a week. It does start to break down here though, as we get the winds in from the west. Temperatures start to rapidly increase and the cold is pushed back up into Siberia. You can just see it retreating here. Really cold here. In comes this system. We get some snow there, by the way, on the 2nd of March. 1st of March, whatever. 1st to 5th of March, some snow. Then it starts to retreat further, as you can see, and we start to go much milder from the south. So we're quite mild here. It looks like the winter's over. Spring's here. Very wet, windy and settled. But look again. High pressure once again going up to Scandinavia. We're now at mid-March, right? 15th, 16th of March. It goes again. The high pressure's back up there. Look at the upper air temperature. -10, -15, -20, not far away. Coming once again. And you know, the winter never really ends until right at the end of the run in April, when we start to take things, and even there we try and do it again, but it doesn't quite come off. But we do it again on the 30th of March and take it a little bit colder again, but there's not as much cold around then, so obviously it's not going to be anywhere near as bad. But yeah, once again we see that cold continuing through a lot of the spring. It's a very really snowy spring in 2018, and we didn't really have a good summer either, because that SSW made things cold for a lot longer and delayed the spring and summer by a lot. If we look at the latest GFS ensembles upper air temperatures until the 15th of February, we look like this. We have got these currently a little bit below average. We have had some frost today. That's a bit big. We have had some frost today. And we're going to, you know, be fairly above average for the next couple of days before we see these dropping back below. And some going quite cold around the -5, even -10 point by the 15th of February. So once again, there's hints that that Scandinavian high might just be doing something a little bit weird going on in up in the stratosphere already to see that high pressure going where it's going. So something very interesting could be going on over the next couple of weeks, I think. And if we continue to see this, warming in the stratosphere looking possible, then I think we really need to keep an eye on it because it looks basically identical to the situation we had in 2018. If you do look at this latest run from the GFS 12Z, see it does look fairly bad still by the 11th of February. It's not as bad as the 6Z, but the 12Z still seems fairly bad, and it looks like we will get an SSW eventually. With that one as well, but we really need to keep an eye on this. Could be very severe if it does come off. And there is another quick look at what looks like is going to happen on the 2nd of February with that high pressure going up to Scandinavia. And this is without an SSW, so if we do get this SSW, it could do what it did in 2018. So it's very far off, but I think the 15th of February to the end of March, if this SSW does come off, could be very, very severe. So yeah. But we've just got to take, that it might not happen still. Let's go back to where were we now? Let's go back to the beast from the east. And we'll show you. So, this is what we've got right now. Up goes the high pressure. See any resemblance? Yeah, there is, isn't there? This is what we're thinking could be happening. We think something very unusual is going on, especially for this to pop up. This was not an option yesterday. So we think something very unusual could happen into February. So we've got to keep an eye on this. If this SSW stays in the forecast by mid next week, I think something could really kick off for the second half of February. So yeah, we are done. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm going to see you in the next one. And stay tuned to my forecasts because it's going to be very, very interesting for February. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.